copies.
Nomination, I don't feel like doing shit. You give me a green, I will make copies.
Why you standing on the phone?
Man, Finn just told you about that, man.
Hey, EDT.
Hello. Johnson, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? How are you doing?
Everything's wonderful. How about yourself today?
Doing well. Who do we have ready?
They said they're ready to go straight down the list except for number 16, which they'll probably be ready on by the time we get there. So we'll just start straight down.
Straight down, list up number 16. Copy that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Getting hot. Is the heat on? It's kind of hot in here. Hi, what's your name, please?
Robert Poe.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Poe. All right, this is case number 210-578-7201, People versus Robert Antonio Poe, counsel.
Mr. Rodney, 365 on behalf of Mr. Robert Poe, we agree to stand you. Mr. Poe has been invited to this constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is a non-assaultive offense and there are no prior convictions in front of me, assaultive or otherwise, such that I would have a concern about danger to the community. Is your client a resident of the area?
He's a lifetime resident, Your Honor. He did a disability check to the same address that he's been in. He lives with his niece here in the city of Detroit as well.
Given that information, I don't think he's a flight risk. Bond is set in the amount of $1,500 personal. Next court date is going to be June 16th in front of Judge Jefferson. There is to be no contact with the Greektown Casino during the terms of the bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name, please?
Yardage cut.
All right, Mr. Cotton, this is case number 210-582-7201, People State Mission versus Dardis Cotton, counsel.
Ryan Rodney, 3665 on behalf of Mr. Dardis Cotton, we agree to stand you. This counsel is advised to the constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that these are non-assaultive allegations and there is no prior history in front of me, assaultive or otherwise. I do not have a concern about danger to the community. Is your client a resident of the area?
Lifetime resident, Your Honor, lives with his fiancee and their 3 children.
Very good that I don't think he's a flight risk. Bond is set in the amount of $5,000 personal. The next court date will be June the 16th in front of Judge Archer. He's not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons or any drugs during the course of the bond. Thank you.
Your Honor, I was advising number 3 is retained.
All right, I don't have any. Can we stick number 3 to the back? Pass number 3, please. We're told he's retained. We've got no counsel here yet.
Copy.
Is he done?
Number 3 going to the back.
Thank you.
Okay, we did it.
Like, number 3 is skipping.
You're skipping number 3?
Yes, sir.
White right there.
We're skipping it.
You skip right?
Yeah.
You got it back in.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Dante Chris.
All right, Mr. Christian, this is case number 210-447-0901, People State of Michigan versus Dante Lamar Christian, counsel.
Ryan Rodney, 3665 on behalf of Mr. Dante Christian, we agree to stand you. Mr. Christian's has been advised to the constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. You have an argument as to bond.
I do, Your Honor. Mr. Christian, in the case, is a 31-year-old lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit, gainfully employed with a great job at Chrysler. Your Honor, does does indicate that he has a stable residence in the community, but his girlfriend was not the complaining witness in this matter. Has given us 3 different options to contact him, indicates that he can't post a monetary bond today. I would ask the court for first for a no contact order and then to consider a personal bond in this matter.
Thank you. Are you aware of whether he has any prior misdemeanor assaultive convictions?
Your Honor, he indicates that he has no prior assaultive conviction.
Okay, thank you. This is an assaultive allegation. It is charged as a misdemeanor. The parties are not known to each other. This is a result, it looks like, of some kind of an auto accident or something like that. So it doesn't appear that they are known to each other. I don't have an ongoing concern about the complainant's safety. It is charged as a misdemeanor. Sounds like he's a resident here of the area. I don't have any record in front of me that would cause me ongoing concern about danger to the community. For all of those reasons, I will set a personal bond. There is going to be a no contact order with the complainant, which I'm assuming will not be hard to comply with. Because of my no contact order, I am going to make the personal bond high in the amount of $50,000. This is a $50,000 personal bond, sir, which means you don't have to pay to get out of jail today. But if you violate my no contact order, you may find yourself locked back up in there and triggering the high monetary amount that I have attached to what is now a personal bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. There is to be no contact with Abu Sufyan. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any contact or attempted contact with that individual will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. As I said, $50,000 personal. The next court date is going to be June the 17th in front of Judge Bryant. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you want to see these after I go through them? Or you good? Okay. Can you see them as I go? Okay. Good afternoon. What's your name, please? Oh, thank you. All right, Mr. Perkins. This is case number 210-582-7301, People of the State of Michigan versus DeAndre Perkins. Counsel.
Ryan Barad, PA 3665, on behalf of DeAndre Perkins, we agree to extend you. Mr. Perkins has been advised of his constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is a non-assaultive allegation having to do with the possession of a firearm, but not the use of that firearm in any assaultive capacity. I have no prior record in front of me that causes me a concern about community safety. Is your client a resident of the area?
Lifetime resident, 18 years old, still living with his mom, Your Honor.
Thank you. Doesn't sound like he's a flight risk. Bond is set in the amount of $1,500 personal. $1,500 personal bond is not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of the bond. Next court date will be June 23rd in front of Judge King. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am, which one? This way, record. White black lines, say first and last name.
Hi, what's your name, please? What's your name, please? Mr. McCray. Okay, this is case number 210-582-7401, counsel.
Ryan Barad, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Malik McCray, we agree to extend you. Mr. McCray has been advised of his constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that these are non-assaultive allegations having to do with the possession of a firearm, but not the use of that firearm in any assaultive capacity. There is one prior, that prior being non-assaultive as well. I do not see a danger to the community here. Is your client a resident of the area?
Lifetime resident, driver, living with his fiance, and he's being legal.
Very good. Then I don't think he's a flight risk. Bond is set in the amount of $5,000 personal. Next court date is June 16th in front of Judge Jefferson. He's not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of the bond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a personal mid in this case? From a Conoco case. Okay. Hi, what's your name, please?
Name is Ahmad Rashad Shabazz Hudson.
All right, thank you. This is case number 210-582-7601. People versus Ahmad Rashad Shabazz Hudson. Counsel.
Ryan Barad, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Ahmad Hudson, we agree to extend you. Hudson has been advised of his constitutional Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is a non-assaultive allegation and there are no prior history in front of me, assaultive or otherwise, to cause me any concern about danger to the community. Is your client a resident of the area?
He is, Your Honor, a lifetime resident, living with his wife and children, he's also gainfully employed.
Very good. Then I don't think he's a flight risk. Bond is set in the amount of $1,500 personal. The next court date is going to be July 14th in front of Judge McConico. After that, July 21st in front of Judge Jones. He is not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of the bond. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
You see what's going on? Right, black man, first thing.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Randy J. Fields.
Thank you. All right, we've got case number 210-582-7701, People State of Michigan versus Randy J. Fields, counsel.
Right, Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Randy Fields, we agree to Mr. Fields with advice of counsel, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. In terms of bond, in addition to whatever argument you're going to make, I'd like to know how long Mr. Fields has been out of the custody of the MDOC, please.
Absolutely, Your Honor. So at the bond, Mr. Fields indicates that he's 50 years old, that he's gainfully employed doing R&D drywall, despite his employment is unable to post a monetary bond. He's living with his mother at this time, Your Honor. Mr. Fields, can you tell this court how long you've been out of jail? How long you've been out of prison?
Since 08.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, thank you. All right. So, thank you. Based upon your arguments, I don't think based upon his family connections and work connections, he would be a flight risk, but there are some things in the file, quite frankly, that cause me concern. Convictions for attempted escape while awaiting trial, as well as a fleeing and a resisting and obstructing, all in the history. So I'm going to address flight risk through my bond decision. In terms of danger to the community, I don't see that there. There's nothing assaultive here, but I'm going to require a GPS tether due to my concerns about flight. So I'm going to set a personal bond in this case in the amount of $20,000. This is a $20,000 personal bond. He's going to have to be fitted with a GPS tether before he leaves the jail. There will be no curfew on the tether. As I said, my main interest is that we know where he is when it's time for court, not so much controlling every movement. Okay, so $20,000 personal GPS tether with no curfew. The next court date is going to be June the 16th in front of Judge Jefferson. And of course, he's not to purchase or possess any illegal drugs during the course of the bond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Hi, what's your name, please? What's your name, sir? Mr. Hunter. Okay, this is case number 1306306-201, People of the State of Michigan versus Larry Eugene Hunter, counsel.
Ryan Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Larry Hunter, we agree to stand mute. Mr. Hunter's been advised to counsel, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note before you make your bond argument that the date of this offense is from July of 2013. So we've got quite a bit of time between then and now on a non-assaultive allegation. I'll hear your arguments as to bond.
Mr. Hunter, 63 years old, no prior criminal convictions, lifetime resident in the city of Detroit, his wife, received a disability check as his only source of income. I'd ask the court for personal bond this time.
All right, thank you. I don't think he's a flight risk given the things that you said, and despite the allegation here, I don't think he's a risk to the community given the amount of time that's passed between this allegation and today. For those reasons, I'm setting a personal bond in the amount of $10,000. The next court date is going to be June 12th, 2021, in front of Judge Bryant. There is to be no drinking and driving during the course of this bond, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Well, there's to be no drinking and driving ever. But certainly, I didn't know that no drinking at all was fair, given that this happened in 2013. So no drinking and driving. Hi, what's your name, sir?
Javante Robinson.
All right, Mr. Robinson. Hold on one second, please, Mr. Robinson. No driving without a valid driver's license. All right, thank you, Mr. Robinson. This is case number 210-582-8601, People State of Michigan versus Javante Donnell Chucky Robinson. Counsel.
Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Javante Robinson, late briefing stand here. Mr. Robinson's been advised of his constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court knows formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is a non-assaultive allegation. There are no prior convictions in front of me, assaultive or otherwise. I have no concern about community safety. Is your client a resident of the area?
Yes, Your Honor, he is in the state of Michigan. He's a high school graduate right now. He lives in Detroit. Would have said he's a lifetime resident, but he comes from a military family. So him and his father used to travel a bit back in his younger days, but he's been in the state of Michigan almost his whole adult life.
All right, given that information, I don't think he's a flight risk. $1,500 personal bond, $1,500 personal bond, not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of the bond. Next court date is going to be July the 19th in front of Judge McConico, and then July 26th in front of Judge Archer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you're not set.
That's it? This is my brother's line?
Hi, what's your name, please?
Bob Jackson.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, this is case number 210-582-8701. People of the state of Michigan versus Bobby Dale Jackson. Counsel.
Rise from Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Bobby Jackson, late briefing stand here. Mr. Jackson's been advised of his constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court knows formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is a non-assaultive allegation and there is no prior history in front of me, assaultive or otherwise. I do not have a concern about danger to the community. Is your client a resident of the area?
Unfortunately, he's not a runner. Mr. Jackson actually was visiting town. He lives in Ohio. He's been in Ohio. He's living with his mother and his children. He's 24 years old, no prior criminal history. He was here for a funeral. However, he did indicate that he could reside with a family friend. But we would request the court to allow him to return to Ohio to get back to work. He's at a staffing agency there in Ohio as a CNC operator. He's certified. So we just asked for permission to move his date attendance on Zoom. However, if the court requires him to be here present, he has no problem doing so. It does have a friend that he can stay with as well.
Okay, thank you. He may return to Ohio. He is to return for court as necessary. That means that if court is by Zoom, it's not necessary that he returns. He can do it by Zoom. If they want him in person, he'll need to come back. $1,500 personal bond. The next court date is going to be July 19th in front of Judge McConico. After that, it'll be July 26th in front of Judge King. He's not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of the bond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll see the investigator's report on this one. It's kind of interesting. Hi, what's your name, sir?
Smiley.
Smiley? Oh, here we go, Mr. Smiley. Okay. That's Dawson. Okay, Mr. Smiley, this is case number 210-582-9001, People State of Michigan versus Miguel Smiley, counsel.
Rise from Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Miguel Smiley, late briefing stand here. Mr. Smiley's been advised of his constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court knows formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I've had a chance to read this investigator's report in good detail. I'm noting that the only charges here are resisting, obstructing. I don't see an underlying charge. I'll hear any arguments you wish to make as to bond.
In front of the court did just address my primary argument. I would add that Mr. Smiley is 22 years old, lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit. He's doing DoorDash right now. He's a high school graduate. living with his grandmother. I would ask this court to consider a personal bond in this matter.
Thank you. All right, this is an R&O, which seems to be kind of a blip in the record for Mr. Smiley and, quite frankly, the co-defendant, who we'll get to later. Neither have any priors. This resulted from an alleged traffic stop in which they were not cooperative, not so much assaultive, but not cooperative. And that does make a difference to me in terms of whether there's a danger to the community. I don't think there is. In terms of flight risk, sounds like he's got family here. He's well established here. You know, hopefully he's going to be more cooperative as this case goes on so that it can get dealt with in the best possible way for him. But I don't think he's a flight risk based upon what I've heard. I'm setting bond in the amount of $10,000 personal. The next court date here is going to be June 16th in front of Judge Jefferson. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
The old date was a weekend date, so we had
Okay.
Yes, sir. Face the camera. Say your full name, brother. Antoine Dawson.
All right, Mr. Dawson. This is case number 210-582-8901, People State of Michigan versus Antoine Dawson. Counsel.
Right, Marad, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Antoine Dawson, we agree to give Mr. Dawson for the advice of the counsel.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I'll hear your argument as to bond, please.
Yes, Your Honor. This case, there's a little more to this case, I think, than what we see on his face. Mr. Dawson is only 17 years old. He has no prior criminal history whatsoever. He's actually a senior in high school. He was trying to work and support his family as well. Currently, he has to live with his aunt and with his aunt. He's looking for employment at Home Depot. I think he's in that process. He's not on any probation or parole. He did tell our office sort of what happened here. We think that he has a great case. We do think that this is, that in likelihood of conviction is going to be extremely low. Without getting into the facts, he doesn't indicate that he has text message proof of his innocence. He gave us his sister's number, his email address, his address. So, Your Honor, I'm asking the court for a personal bond. I think a no contact order should be sufficient here. He's never missed any court dates, nor has he ever been in any trouble, or the subject of any assault investigation. He is actually still a child, Your Honor. I would ask the court for a personal bond, of course, a no contact order.
All right, thank you. I've had a chance to look at the investigator's report in this file. What I do note from that investigator's report is that Mr. Dawson does not appear to be at least the initial instigator in all of this. Looks like he was, according to the investigator's report, he was hit in the head by one of the complainants. Then a water bottle was thrown at him. He reacted allegedly by throwing a brick, probably because he's 18 years old and didn't think very clearly that that wasn't the best next step to take. But I do think that there is some reduction of kind of wrongdoing here in terms of his role in all of this and whether he's in fact a danger to the community overall. I don't think he is. I think he reacted in a situation where already, according to the investigator's report, assaults were being perpetrated towards him as well. And instead of calling police, he reacted if what is read is to be believed. So I don't think there's an overall danger to the community here. In terms of flight risk, he lives with his mom. You said he's 18. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think he's a flight risk. I'm going to set a personal bond in this case in the amount of $10,000 just because these are two assaultive charges. $10,000 personal bond. Of course, there is to be no contact with the complainants, Nala Cochran or Danielle Lombard. Also noting that this happened at his home, okay? So the complainants actually came to his home and kind of all of this ensued. So that's another thing. I don't think he's out just randomly targeting people of the community. $10,000 personal bond. I don't think he's a flight risk. No contact with those complainants. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt at contact with either of those individuals will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. Next court date will be June 16th. June 16th in front of Judge Archer. Thank you. Okay. Are you looking for me to do something with this? I signed it. Uh-huh. Oh, this is graffiti on a school building. Kids. Hi, what's your name, please? All right, Mr. Watson, this is case number 210-582-9101, People of State of Michigan versus Dominic Jamal Watson. Counsel.
My name is Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Dominic Watson, we agree that you, Mr. Watson, to the constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is completely non-assaultive. It has to do with graffiti on a vacant school building. I don't see any danger to the community whatsoever here. And tell me about his community ties. Is he a resident?
So, as one time resident, no priors whatsoever, gainfully employed at O'Reilly's, high school graduate, no children. We're asking this court for personal law here.
All right, thank you. All right. Given that I don't think he's a flight risk, given the family ties, I don't think he is any kind of a flight risk at all. I was just kind of looking at kind of what was found in the backpack, but it was just graffiti items. So I don't see any danger to the community or risk of flight here. I'm going to set a personal bond in the amount of $1,000. That means he doesn't have to pay to get out of jail today. Just make sure you show up for your next court date, sir. $1,000 personal, next court date, June 17th, in front of Judge Jones. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I think that's it for the mail.
Well, we've got James White. Who's supposed to be retained on James White? Do we know?
Your Honor, I was going to ask the court if we could ask Mr. James White.
Okay, could you bring Mr. White up, please? Hi, Mr. White. We're told you have an attorney that you retained to represent you today. Do you have a lawyer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, who's your attorney, sir? Because we haven't gotten anybody into the Zoom courtroom yet.
I'm still waiting for him. He was works with
Hold on, here we go. Somebody just came in. Stand by.
Holden.
Good morning or good afternoon. Who are you here on, please?
You're talking to me, I apologize. I'm sorry, I'm not in my normal court gear. Did you guys arrange White yet? I apologize.
He's standing right here. We were just asking him because we heard he had retained counsel, and so he was trying to think of the name. So great, we're glad you're here.
Would you give me an opportunity to put my suit on, Your Honor? I don't feel comfortable doing this in a t-shirt right now.
Yeah, it's really not necessary. We're down to the very last case. It's just arraignment. Please, okay. I mean, you're already on camera at this point, so it's not necessary. It won't affect my decision at all. I can promise you that.
Okay, thank you. And I do apologize for my attire. Attorney Ryan Hill, P68445, on behalf of the defendant.
Thank you. Okay, and this is case number 210-582-6801. And it is James, People versus James Franklin White. Thank you, counsel, for putting your appearance on the record. Are you aware of the charges? Do you wish to waive formal reading and stand in mute?
For me, stand mute, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Court notes formal reading has been waived and will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. White's behalf. And I'll hear your argument as to bond, please.
My client's 39 years old. He doesn't have any children. He works in Detroit. Nameplate for 3 years. He has no prior felony convictions. I'm asking the court to consider a personal bond.
Okay. Does he work in the area?
The notes I have from the family are that he works for Nameplate for 3 years. I'm assuming that's in the area. Mr. White, just nod. Is that true? Where's that located?
Ferndale area.
Sorry?
Ferndale area.
Ferndale area.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. I am noting that these are assaultive allegations. You know, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. I'm noting that I don't see any priors in terms of danger to the community, but the allegations themselves are pretty concerning. What they basically allege is that a gun was pulled after an accident, and there was at least a fear that the people who saw that gun were going to be shot, but there were no shots fired. The other side of the story, according to the investigator's report, is that Mr. White did express being in fear of his own life and that he was speaking incoherently. So I was actually surprised that I didn't see anything about having him transported to the hospital or anything to have an evaluation done to see what was going on, because it does say he was speaking incoherently at the time. As I said, given his age, this looks like an anomaly. So I don't know what was going on that day, but it does appear to be an anomaly. I am going to include that he's not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons as a condition of the bond. And I am going to give a personal bond, as I said, because I don't see a history here. And it looks to me as if there's other stuff going on in the background. And I'll give it time to come out as the case goes on. The parties are not known to each other, so I don't think there's an overall danger to the community posed here, especially when there are no firearms involved. Bond is set in the amount of $50,000 personal. This is a $50,000 personal bond. The next court date is going to be June the 17th, and it's going to be in front of Judge Jones. As I said, he's not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of the bond, and he's not to have any contact with the complainants in this case, with Shayla Monette or Christopher Pugh, and that means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt at contacting either of those individuals will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. All right?
Thank you, Judge. And again, I do apologize for my attire. Thank you for allowing me to proceed the way I'm dressed.
No problem. I've gone to court in flip-flops before because I forgot my shoes, so I know the feeling. No problem. And it wasn't even Zoom court. Okay. All right. All right, over to the female side.
Yes, over to the female side, Your Honor.
You there? Hang up. Hello, what's your name, please?
Tanisha York.
Okay, Ms. York. Case number 210-447-1001, People State of Michigan versus Tanisha Latisha York. Counsel.
Ryan Moran, PA 3665 on behalf of Ms. Tanisha York, waive readings to view Ms. York's been advised for contempt.
Thank you, counsel. The court knows formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Do you have an argument as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. I will first point out that the complaining witness in this matter is Ms. York, who holds a 16-year-old daughter.
Okay.
Ms. York has no prior criminal history. She has 6 children in total. She's already bought, prior to these allegations, has already bought all of her children tickets to Disney World. Go June 6th to June 10th. She's working at FedEx, Your Honor. I know she's had a government background. She has her GED, suffering from high blood pressure. I would ask the court to deviate from the standard no contact order and impose a no assaultive contact order in this particular matter, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this looks like that a 16-year-old daughter with a phone not answering her mother's calls. Mom allegedly hits her a couple times with an extension cord, which is not okay as a result of the refusal to do that. But I don't see any allegations of ongoing abuse. I don't see any allegations of any kind of abuse with the other children in her custody. So I don't think there's an overall danger going on here. Hopefully lesson learned about discipline after ending up here dealing with this. I will deviate and issue the no assaultive contact in this case. Sounds like there are already numerous children in the defendant's care who have not been removed from her care. So no court has deemed her unworthy of parenting her children at this point. And I don't find this single incident to be reflective of that. All right. $30,000 personal, $30,000 personal. It is a little bit high. That's because that means you don't have to pay to get out of jail today, ma'am. All right. It's a personal bond. That number doesn't get triggered unless you disobey the conditions of my bond. One of which is that you are not to have any assaultive contact with the complainant. All right. I got a 16-year-old, but you can't do that. They make you want to sometimes, but you can't do that. $30,000 personal, no assaultive contact with the complainant. Next court date is going to be June the 21st in front of Judge Bryant. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I do need to address that. When is the Disney World trip? Thank you.
June 6th.
Okay. All right. I will allow her to leave the state. She must return for court as necessary. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Magistrate Johnson here, who reminded me that they want to go to Disney World.
I've been when I went, so.
Those tickets are expensive.
They are.
Okay, you're all done. $30,000 personal. Your next court date's going to be June the 21st. You can go to Disney World. You got to come back for court, okay?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Bridget Green?
Okay, Ms. Green, this is case number, thank you, 21058266701. People, State of Michigan versus Bridget Irene Green. Counsel.
I'm Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Ms. Bridget Green, waive readings and Ms. Green for the bonds for constitutional rights.
Thank you. Court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Do you have an argument as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Green is 46 years old, a lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit, living with 3 of her children, no prior criminal history, gainful employment, she's got the GED as well. I do know that they're not assaultive allegations, Your Honor. I would ask this court to consider a personal bond in this matter.
Okay, thank you. They are non-assaultive allegations. There's no prior history in front of me, assaultive or otherwise. I have no concern about community safety. Sounds like she's got some good community ties. All of that suggests a personal bond in the amount of $1,000. $1,000 personal bond. Next court date is going to be June the 16th in front of Judge Archer. All right? And she's not forced to purchase or possess or use any illegal drugs during the course of the bond.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name, please?
Chanel Kenya.
Okay, Ms. Kenya. This is case number 21058290002. People of the State of Michigan versus Chanel Kenya. Counsel.
I'm Rob, PA 3665, on behalf of Ms. Chanel Kenya, waive readings and Ms. Kenya for the bonds for constitutional rights.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Do you have an argument as to bond?
Your Honor, yes. Ms. Kenya is 21 years old, a lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit, absolutely no prior criminal history. She's working DoorDash, Your Honor. She's a high school graduate. Your Honor, she indicates that she was assaulted in this matter and should not be the defendant. However, I can advise that that will be taken up at later hearings.
Okay, thank you, counsel. We arraigned the co-defendant in this case a little while ago. We noted that these are both R&O charges having to do more with obstructing than assaulting or resisting. And that there is no underlying attached offense here. So I did note those things for the record. Also, then taking Ms. Kenya's argument into account, I don't see a danger to the community here. Sounds like this was an anomaly for her as well. I don't think she's a danger to the community. I don't think she's a flight risk. I'm going to set bond the same as I did for the co-defendant in the amount of $10,000 personal, $10,000 personal bond. Next court date will be June 16th in front of Judge Jefferson. Thank you. Okay.
You all set, Your Honor?
All set. Have a good night. Thank you.